Good morning, everybody. Carmen here with Quality Sewing. And for this week's How Do I, we are going to discuss some fabulous tools, notions, and accessories that will help your craft. So I hope you are familiar with Quality Sewing at this point. We have a great catalog that comes out every single month. If you live in our local area, you can get this mailed to you. So you can always register for this on our website, or you can download the PDF off of our homepage. But we always have lots of fabulous notions and accessory items in here. And today I'm going to take some time and talk about a lot of the ones that were featured in this month's catalog. So you'll notice from the cover here that March is National Quilting Month. So a lot of the items that I am talking about are really great for quilters. We're also going to talk about some things that are just great for a regular sewist, for embroidery, but I did try to pick some of these great quilting items to talk with you about today. So we are just gonna get started. You can see I've got a whole bunch of different notion items behind me. If you have any questions, just ask it right here on the, you can just post into the comments and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And then also if you're interested in any of these items, we do have them on our website at qualitysewing.com. Okay, so first off here, you can see I've got a beautiful quilt here. I'm first gonna talk about some long arm quilting accessories. So the first thing here, I don't know if you have a long arm quilting system, there's a lot of great feet and things that can really help your craft. So the first one is the Surefoot. This Surefoot is a ruler work foot that works on long arm quilting machines. And what's great about a Surefoot is it's going to allow you to follow a ruler, right? Now you can also get a ruler work foot for your domestic sewing machine. Westerly makes a beautiful ruler work foot and beautiful templates that allow you to do ruler work on your domestic machine. So this is not limited to the long arm machines, but this past weekend I was at a quilt show and I talked to numerous people who didn't know this was the foot they needed for their long arm. The Surefoot is amazing. And then I'm also holding up this Versatool. This is our #1 selling handy quilter ruler. And the reason for that is because it is so versatile, hence its name. You can do straight lines, you can do curves. It has all of the markings here, the 1/2 inch, the 1/4 inch. It is a really great ruler. And you can see on the back here, it's even showing you, straight lines, hatches, clamshells, heart. You can do all sorts of different things with this Versa tool. There's lots and lots of different rulers out there. If you haven't played with ruler work and you are a quilter, whether it be on your long arm machine or your domestic, just regular sewing machine, I'd highly recommend getting a ruler work foot and trying just get one basic ruler and play with it and see. We have a lot of great videos on our YouTube page and on our website on how to set up for ruler work. That can be very helpful. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you here, first we're going to pick this quilt up and I'm going to show you these Wonder Pins. And these Wonder Pins are a newer item by Clover. And what's slick about them is they are like a safety pin, but they work a little bit differently. So they come in a couple different colors, and you can see I've already pinned a couple onto this quilt. But what's great about this is when you pin it on here, and you just go like this, all you do is clamp down. If you're on a flat surface, it works perfectly. But all you have to do is clamp down on it like this, and then it immediately grabs it for you. So it's so much easier than using a safety pin. The key, of course, is laying it flat. Then it works perfectly. Doing it in the air, which you would never do, is a lot harder. But if it's flat down here, it just pops in there for you just like that. So that way you don't have to, your fingers don't get tired. And for those of you who've used safety pins for basting, you know exactly what I mean. So these are really handy and helpful. The next thing is I have a couple more long arm things to show here. So these guys are really cool. These are called the square feet. So these square feet, one has a 1/2 inch seam allowance, or 1/2 inch seam, and one has a 1/4 inch seam. And you can see these feet are square. And what these are really helpful with is, one, on your long arm machine, you can use it to attach binding. The other thing is you can use it to do square echo quilting. And echo quilting is where you are following, when you've drawn a line, you're gonna keep following off that line so it continues. So you can see here with this square one, you could follow and do one square line and then use that next line to do the next, and so on and so forth. And so doing square echo quilting is also really handy with these square feet. And the next handy quilter item are these cool iron off pencils. So you get 4 in a package, and it's sort of like chalk, but what's great is you can let's just mark it on here because this is dark, you can sort of see it. You can mark whatever you need to mark, works really nicely, and then with an iron, it will just iron away. And so these are just really a nice pencil made by Handy Quilter. And of course, these don't have to, you can use these in all sorts of different applications. They're designed for long arms, but you can use them in any quilting application. Okay, the next thing that is sort of fun is couching. So couching can add a ton of texture to a quilt, to really anything, right? You could make a pillow, you could add it to quilting, and there's a lot of different couching feet out there. There's couching feet for our domestic sewing machines. Most of our sewing machines, you can get a couching foot, and the couching foot is gonna help you navigate taking that yarn or, maybe it's ribbon, but whatever that thick sort of yarn that you have, it's going to help guide it for you. But what's really cool is not only is it available, our couching feet available for our domestic sewing and embroidery machines, but it's also available for the long arms. So you can see here, this is a 3 set, and they have different sizes, and the different sizes are, there's a 3mm, a 2mm, and a 1.5, and that's for the thickness of whatever yarn or thread that you are putting through there. And you can even do couching with your Pro Stitcher. So if you have robotics, you can actually take those designs and couch them and add some really interesting texture. So that is really fun. And couching can be just a really fun way to add some really fun, some embellishment. Okay, over here, we're gonna go backwards this way a little bit. Over here, we were talking about iron off pencils, and you need an iron, right? And most of us have a couple different irons, but I love this Panasonic Freestyle iron as one of my go-tos because I love to have it next to me. It is cordless. So you can see here the iron itself is cordless. The base is what you would plug in to charge. So you charge the base, and the base is then how the iron charges. But what's great about this is when the iron is fully charged, the base can be over there, and then this can be right next to you, so you can easily turn and press. So if you wanted to remove that marking we had talked about, you could just turn and press it off. And then you can see here, I'm actually turning and pressing onto a wool felting, a wool mat here. This wool pressing mat, we love the wool pressing mats. And what's different about a wool pressing mat compared to like a normal ironing board or something is wool does a really great job taking that moisture and sucking it through. So that way you're getting that fine press and you're not left with damp fabric. And so I love having this to be able to turn and press when I'm quilting and I'm piecing or something. Oftentimes when I'm piecing, I need to turn and press as I go. And I'm sure many of you have had this before as well. And that's where the combination of these two can just be so helpful because you can turn and press on this guy. You can, and this is cordless, so you don't have to have it plugged in. The other thing is that since this is a little bit smaller, if you are an embroiderer and you sometimes need to iron inside your embroidery hoop, this is also a nice size for most of those larger embroidery hoops where you can get in and iron on the inside of it as well, because it is not a really large iron head, so it works well for that as well. Okay, next we have a couple of newer things for us. And this is, we have some fun new cork made by R&K. We've had these sheets before where they come in, what size is this? I should have paid attention. It looks like they're 8.5, yeah, 8 inches by 11-inch sheets. And these are a multi-pack, so they have all sorts of different fun colors. But what's great is they now have them in these rolls. So this is just the standard cork. And you can see the back of it is fabric. And so what's cool about this is you can use it as fabric to make things. So like here is a little notebook here that a design has been put on it, and it is a little cork notebook. And so anytime you want to make something that has some weight, or you want to add just some, texture to something, you could use this in applique for embroidery. You could use it to make little notebooks. There's lots of different ways you could use cork to make a purse or a satchel or something. but I love that it now comes on this nice large roll because it just gives you more versatility than some of these sheets. And there are quite a few different brands of the cork. We also carry the Everstone cork on our website, and there's lots of different, those come in fun colors as well. So cork can be a really nice, just something different to add some texture or to make yourself, I don't know, I love the little purses that people make, the little like wallets that people make out of the cork. Okay, we're gonna go back this way and talk about the Quilter Select rotary cutters, rulers, and mats. So Quilter Select products have been made and designed by Alex Anderson. She partnered with R&K, and they're the distributor of all of the Floriani products. So those are like the Floriani stabilizers and the Floriani threads. R&K makes all of those. So they partnered with Alex Anderson because Alex has been a quilter for many, many, many years. And for all of her years of quilting, there were certain things that she always wished she had, certain tools she wanted, things that she wanted in her rotary cutter and her mats. And so what she has done is she has designed these products to do all those things that she wanted them to do. So the first thing that is really unique about their rulers and mats is that all of their markings line up perfectly. So this means that when you're squaring something or when you are cutting, you are going to be more precise. So all of these markings line up perfectly. Sometimes when you have two different brands of like a ruler and a mat, the markings don't really line up quite right, and that's not going to help you when you are cutting. So that is the first thing. The second thing is all of her rulers have this nice sort of sticky back. And that's why they also look clouded a little bit, but that's because it's this nice sticky back. I shouldn't say sticky, it's more like tacky. And so what it's gonna do for you is when you are sitting here and you are cutting, it's going to make it so your ruler doesn't slide off your fabric. And then the next thing that she has done is she has designed like pretty much my team's favorite rotary cutter. We all have these at home. We all love this rotary cutter. And the reason why we love it is for a couple of reasons. One, all you need to do to get the blade out is push this button. It has some really nice weight to it. And the reason why this is great is because then the rotary cutter is doing the work for you. Instead of you having to push really hard, it already has the weight behind it. And so it's much easier on our wrists. And so you just go like this, and then you would just cut here, and it does a beautiful job. And when you want to lock it, you just go like this. And then the other thing is that this is left or right-handed. So you can change where the blade is, so that way you can make it easier if you're right-handed or left-handed to use. So this is a 45mm rotary cutter. This is one you can tell even at our fabric stations. So 9 of our 11 stores have bolted fabric now, and we cut the fabric, right? And this one came right off of one of those stations because even for all of that fabric that we're cutting, we always use these rotary cutters because they're just so much better than a standard rotary cutter. So 45mm is the most common size, but they also have now come out with this 60mm rotary cutter. And you can see here the size difference of how much bigger this blade is. So the reason why a 60mm rotary cutter is pretty great to have in your tools is because it allows you to cut through more layers. It also works better on heavy fabric or batting, those things that are sort of bulky. If you're cutting a lot of those, the 60mm rotary cutter is going to work a lot better. So this is new. It's only been on the market, I think, for about a year, and it is a great addition, and it works in the same way. So right now we do have a couple of featured packages where you get a lot of value, and you get that new 60mm rotary cutter. This is called the Golden Rule Pack, and it's coming with the 60mm rotary cutter. It's coming with a replacement blade. It's coming with the 8.5 by 12 inch ruler. It's coming with either the 1.5 by 12 inch ruler or the 2.5 by 12 inch ruler, and then the 3 by 12 ruler. So it has a really nice, it's a really nice package where you're getting a lot of different ruler sizes. I love the 3 by 12. I use it all the time. The other package also comes with a mat. So for those of you, oh, and I'm just gonna drop stuff. Sure, that was loud, sorry. For those of you who shop with us often, you know that a lot of these mats have been on back order for months. But the mats are back in stock, so this is really exciting. We have the 24 by 36 back in stock. We have this one, which is the 18 by 24 back in stock, and then I also believe the 12 by 18 size are back in stock. They do have one really large size as well, the 36 by 60, and those have been trickling in, but they're not quite back in stock yet. If you had ordered one a while ago, they should finally be in store for you now. But it's great that these products are coming back in stock. So right here, this is another package that also includes the mat. So you get everything. You get the 18 by 24 mat, which is a great size. That's the size that I have down here. And the 6.5 by 24 inch ruler. So their #1 selling ruler is the 6 by 24 inch ruler. They've now made a 6.5 by 24 because when you have the 0.5, it makes it a lot easier when you are squaring things, right? Because if you're gonna make an 8-inch block, you want your ruler to be 8.5 by 8.5, right? Not 8 by 8 because you still have your 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. So this is a really great new ruler, the 6.5 by 24. I suspect it's going to become one of our best selling rulers. And then we have the 3 by 18, which is also a great size. And then it's coming with the mat, and it's coming with that 60mm rotary cutter. And this is actually a 3-pack of blade replacement, so you are good to go. And what's nice about this is you sort of get everything all in one. Okay, I'm trying not to drop that one. Okay, the next thing I have here is I have some more stuff from Quilter Select because since we are celebrating National Quilting Month, we had a lot of their items in our catalog this month. We also have some of those bundles that I was showing you. Those are actually coming free with some sewing machines this month because it's National Quilting Month, which is fun. So the next thing is they have some new thread. So this is a large spool of their Paracotton Poly. There's 2,500 yards on each of these spools, and these are these nice neutrals that are great for quilting. So this is 80 weight thread. So the thing about thread is the larger the number in the weight, the lighter the thread is. So what's beautiful about 80 weight when you're quilting is that it's gonna do a nice job giving you texture, but not being really heavy in your quilt. This thread would be really great if you're doing embroidery quilting, like if you're using your embroidery machine to do quilting, this thread would be perfect for that. But you could also use it on long arm machines. You can use it on a domestic machine. But this is a really nice set, and it gives you a lot of thread because traditionally when we're doing quilting, most of us use a lot of neutrals, right? We piece with gray. We're gonna use a lot of neutral colors because they just sort of work with everything. And so these are some really nice, a really nice new set here. Next, we are gonna talk about applique scissors. So these are the Quilter Select. They call them the Wave Applique Scissor. And what's really unique about these, and you can sort of see, I'll put it against this so you can maybe see better, but what's unique about this scissor is not only does it have that lovely duckbill, and the reason why the duckbill, which is what this flange is called here, is great is when if I was actually doing this applique design, right, and I had sewn around it and I had the fabric hanging onto the sides and I needed to trim it, the duckbill allows that fabric to lay there so you can get close. But then what I love about this scissor is that little curve and point, because if you imagine you were cutting into this heart, you would really need to be able to have that fine precision. And that's what's unique about this scissor is it gives you the duckbill, and then with that curve, it allows you to have even more control and precision as you are cutting around applique. So this is just a great little scissor for that. And the other cool thing, because Alice Anderson is always thinking about all of us, she has a left-handed version as well. So there's left-handed and there's right-handed, which is great because for a lot of scissors out there, they don't have a left-handed option, but this one does. Okay, next, we got some pins. These are really fine glass-headed pins. They do not leave like big holes in your quilts or in your projects. But what I love is that the container is magnetic. And so this is just super slick. I don't know about you, but like literally every time I have a large project, at some point I take the whole thing and just like brush everything onto the floor. And what's great about this is when this goes down to the floor, you do not have a million pins all over the floor that you were trying to get out of your carpet and hope that your cat or dog does not step on in the meantime, right? So I just love that it's magnetic. I'm a big fan of all magnetic things with pins because as you can see, I'm sort of a klutz. So it's really helpful. Next, they have a brand new product. This is brand new, and these are quilting clips. So these are similar to like Wonder Clips and some of the other clip products that are out there, but they are a little bit different. So you can see here what makes these guys a little bit different, and I don't know if you can really see, but the way that the top the top actual clip comes up and over the bottom one. And so it gives you a little, it has a little bit more of like a lip there. And what I can see how this, I think these are gonna even be better than a Wonder Clip 4 is when you're doing something like binding, right? Because since it has that little extra, the little extra grab, it's gonna help hold it for you, whether, you know, wherever you want it to be. So I think it's gonna be really, really helpful on binding. But these, I know I use these all the time instead of pins to just hold my project together, right? Whether it be garments, whether it be a home deck, whether it be a quilt, not just for binding. I just think that these ones, because they have that little extra flange, I think they're going to even be better for binding than some of the previous ones. And then they also do have the nice colors and they, you know, they really work pretty nicely and they're brand new, which is fun. I love new stuff. Okay, so next I just have one more thing, and this is more for embroidery, but it is new and I'm just excited about it. And everything I'm gonna talk about here, you can also purchase all of these things separately. So if you're like, I don't need that whole kit, but I really want those single items, and that's same with that Quilter Select stuff, you know, you can buy those items separately. So this is brand new from Floriani, and it's called the new Embroiderer's Bundle. So it has threads, stabilizers, and tools, everything a new embroiderer needs, all in one kit. So it comes in this nice box. You can see it has a large list of items that are here, but I just wanted to take a minute to sort of talk through what comes in this kit. So the first thing that I am excited about is this is a totally new product for Floriani and R&K, and this is, they are called Hoop and Go. So this is a stabilizer that has already been pre-cut. So this is 10, these are 10" by 12" sheets. So you're getting 5 of the Perfect Stick Tearaway, 5 of the Power Mesh Fusible, 5 of the Heat and Stay, and 5 of the Wet and Gone. And what I love about this is, like, I'm not gonna lie, I love that I don't have to cut it. It's already set. I can just, you know, I can just go, and then it has a variety. So if I don't know what these stabilizers are, this is a great way to test them out and see what I think of them without buying a whole roll, because you get a whole variety pack. So, and you can buy this guy separately, and I wanted to show you, just so you know, this one doesn't come in the bundle, but they even have them in larger sizes. So this guy is the 15 by 20, depending on your size of hoop, and it has 5 of each of those stabilizers in there. So I think that this is a great way if you want to try new stabilizers, to try them, 1, and then 2, I love the speed of it, right? Because you don't have to cut it, it's already ready to go, and it's just super easy to throw in your hoop. So that's one item that comes in here.
There was a question that came through.
Yeah.
How much is that new bundle?
This new bundle, oh, you asked a trick question. I didn't look. So it's regularly $140. And I want to say it's about $99, but I could be wrong. We will post back with the actual price of what this is on sale at. But this is a huge value, and everything is all together in here. Okay. And I think you meant this whole bundle and not just the stabilizer. Yep, okay, great. Okay, so the next thing that is in this bundle is some of these great scissors. These are the precision tip scissor, and you can sort of see a theme here in the 2 scissors I've talked about today, because this precision snip scissor, it is perfect for fussy cutting things, because it has, once again, that little curve around, so you can really get in and get into areas, but you can also use them for just snipping your threads. So it's really a nice addition when you're doing embroidery. There's oftentimes little threads or little pieces of fabric that you just need to get in there and snip, and these work great for that. Okay, and then of course it comes with some embroidery needles. Floriani makes beautiful embroidery needles. These are the 7511, which is the standard size. It comes with what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different colors of Floriani thread. This is our favorite embroidery thread. If you've never used the Floriani embroidery thread, I would recommend that you give it a try. It is really beautiful. It's high quality. They have 360 beautiful colors. So any color that you might need, they have it. So the other thing that it comes with here, and this is new, it's called the Stabilizer and Tool Workbook. And I think this is so great, particularly if you're newer, but even if you're not and you have this like supply chest of stabilizer and you can't always remember which one does what, this takes you through, it tells you for each type of Floriani stabilizer what it does, how you might use it. You can put a little sample of the stabilizer here, which I also find helpful, because once we take off our packaging on our stabilizer, sometimes we have all these rolls of stuff and we don't always remember which one is which, but then that way you can match them up, put a little piece of Dream fusible, and you can write yourself some notes, maybe of like, I like to use this for this, or work great here and it didn't work great here, or whatever. But it's a nice workbook that you can go through and put all of your different stabilizers, and at the front it has their chart of all their recommendations, so like the fabric type, and then the design type, and then the stabilizer recommendation. So it's really just handy because sometimes we all need, you know, are like, okay, well, I'm doing this sort of different project. I wonder what the best stabilization technique is gonna be. And it has the tips in here and then a way for you to keep track of what you own and how things have worked for you.
A couple quick questions here.
Yeah.
One is the thread snips that you showed.
Yeah.
Do those have a serrated edge?
That's a good, I do not believe, oh, nope, they do. Yep, the bottom one is serrated.
Okay.
Yeah, the bottom one is serrated. The other scissors that are great, if you're looking for a serrated edge scissor, is the Kai patchwork scissors. They're the purple handled scissors by Kai. They actually make a whole set of them. Those are really great if you want a serrated edge scissor, not a serger, a scissor. Yeah.
And then is that stabilizer book, is that available separately outside the kit?
It is 100%. Yeah, you can definitely get the stabilizer book. It's on the website. And they actually make one for Floriani and they make one for the embellished stabilizers as well. So there's two different ones. They're both on the website, and we stock the Floriani one in all the store locations as well. Okay, so next is another tool that I just think is so handy to have. So this is a true color. It actually has the actual thread on here, Floriani thread chart. And the reason why this is brilliant is that, like, most of us don't actually own all 360 colors. And if you do, that is even better, right? You have them all. But what's great is you can mark on here, maybe you're just getting started and you only have 20 colors. You can mark which ones you have, and then when you are doing an embroidery design, you're like, oh man, I really want this purple. It's gonna be perfect. You can come right into the store and you can order that color that is gonna be perfect for you. So this is just super handy to have. Has all the different colors there. And that's what's great about this starter set, is it's sort of giving you these basics to allow you to build on. And then this guy here does also have a sample of each of the different stabilizers that comes in here. So that way you can actually get a sense for what they feel like. And you can even just take these squares and go put them into your workbook. But it sort of shows you, so that way, if let's say you're just perusing the internet and looking for different stabilizer and you're wondering, well, what do they actually all feel like? It lists them all in here, which is also super handy. Okay, so next we have the perfect grip tape. All three of these come in here. And this is handy because once you open these stabilizers up, they can sometimes get a little unruly. And what's great about these is they just sort of wrap around. You would just wrap it around here. They're reusable, so it attaches to itself, and then you would cut that, right? And then this way it helps hold your stabilizer all together. You could also use it for any other time that you have something like thread, really anything that you want to help hold together, and it sticks to itself, so it's reusable. You don't have to, it's not like tape where you have to, you know, it's gonna be used at once and gonna get rid of it. Okay, so finally, there's three more things. I know I just keep talking about the things in this bundle, but there's a lot in here. So the three more things that come in here are three different stabilizers. So it comes with water-soluble topping, heat and gone, and stitch and wash. So the first two I want to talk about are water-soluble topping and heat and gone, because I use both of these all the time. And these three are not in the hoop and go. None of these stabilizers are in here because these have a different function. So these are great whenever you need a topper. So there's oftentimes when you are embroidering, you need a bottom stabilizer, right? And then you also need a topper. And a good example of that is when you do something like a towel, okay? Because a towel, you can see this towel here has all of this nap, right? But I don't want this nap right here. Like here, I wanted the nap to come through because that's part of the design. But over here in my satin stitching, I don't want any little pieces of my nap to come through my stitching, right? I want my stitching to be running on top of all this nap. And that is where these stabilizers are perfect. So in this exact one, I believe that I used the heat and gone topper. And heat and gone is great because you lay it over the top, you embroider it, and then when you're done, you sort of tear away the extra and then you just iron it and it dissolves and goes away. Water soluble works similarly, where you lay it on the top and then you embroider on it. and then you wash it away. So you take away as much excess as you can tear away, and then the first time you wash it, it comes out. And so both of these are just great for that, particularly for things like towels, terry cloth, anytime you have something that has some nap to it and you want to keep your design on top. And then this guy is Stitch and Wash, and this is a tearaway made of water-soluble and non-soluble fibers. So what this does is, this is great when you want it to sort of act like a tearaway, but you don't want that stabilizer to stay in your finished product. Then it's going to, most of it is going to rinse away. It'll leave a little bit, but it's going to mostly rinse away for you. So, so this is a great product as well. So that is the whole bundle there, all sorts of good stuff. It's called the new Embroidery Bundle. But like I said, all of the pieces I talked about, you can also get them separately. So I hope that this was helpful for you today. Each week we have a different topic. I believe next week it's how do I do applique. I believe next week is our applique. So watch us here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and I look forward to talking to you soon.